Y'all have the audacity to call me a politician? I'm a magician.
She is the latest mask on the same party that tore husbands from wives, mothers from children, and annihilated half of our people before they even took their first breath. We should be a nation of 90 to 135 million strong, and yet we stand at 48 million souls because of policies she celebrates with a grin. No fluff, no smoothing of the edges, just the brutal truth that exposes her record as an assault on everything our ancestors prayed. They literally prayed for through chains.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Warriors, I have a based Black conservative man going off on Jasmine Felicia Crockett. Jasmine Felicia Crockett is about to get the mask ripped off. That's what I'll be talking about today on Chat with me, Linda B. Jasmine Felicia Crockett is what this based Black man, who is an avid supporter of President Trump and a conservative, is talking about. Now, this video is very educational. I mean, it really is. You're going to learn a lot. Some of you probably don't know all of these things, but he is going to really rip the mask off of who Jasmine Crockett actually is, how she is being used by the Democrat Party, by the evil folks in the background, to actually continue to decimate the Black family. And again, I come on this channel to really educate, not infuriate, because I want people to know so desperately what is really going on. And it is so frustrating that people want to stay in their little echo chambers and not try to learn the truth. But I'm going to share this clip with you. It's a little lengthy, and I am going to, provide commentary intermittently and then really go off on a rant at the end.
She didn't marry a Black man. She didn't birth Black children. She has no idea of the Black experience. She's not even from Texas. What you are about to hear is long for a reason. The woman clawing her way into the Senate race from a state she isn't even from represents the exact same machine that has devoured Black families since 1960s. She is the latest mask on the same party that tore husbands from wives, mothers from children, and annihilated half of our people before they even took their first breath. We should be a nation of 90 to 135 million strong, and yet we stand at 48 million souls because of policies she celebrates with a grin. No fluff, no smoothing of the edges, just the brutal truth that exposes her record as an assault on everything our ancestors prayed. They literally prayed for through chains, whips, and Jim Crow. If this doesn't hit 70% listen time, the algorithm is going to bury this, and the deception will continue, sadly. So let this run through your bones and share it with your children's like your survival depends on it. Because as an American, it does. Jasmine Felicia Crockett. That's her name. Jasmine Felicia Crockett has blood on her hands, the blood of abortion. She parades around as a champion of reproductive justice, but is nothing more than an architect of death in neighborhoods already stripped of hope. In April of 2025, she co-sponsored the Abortion Care Awareness Act, pumping taxpayer money into marketing campaigns that target the very wombs crying out for restoration. She wears her 100% pro-choice score from the Reproductive Freedom for All like it's some kind of a trophy, but it's a marker of complicity. She voted no. Remember that. She voted no on the 2023 Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. She said, let them die, ensuring that if a Black child does survive an attempted abortion, the child would be left alone in the cold to die.
See, this is what I can't stand about Black Democrat politicians. They know exactly what they are doing. These are not stupid people. They're evil, but they're not stupid. Jasmine Felicia Crockett, born in St. Louis, Missouri, not even in Texas, with this ghetto shtick, this ghetto around the way girl, knowing that she knows how to speak and that her parents spent tens upon tens of thousands on her education. See, these Black Democrat politicians are paid to keep Black people diminished, to keep our numbers down, to keep us destroyed and hopeless. And they know, unfortunately, it is true that a lot of Black people, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, most are stuck on skin color. They worship melanin. They worship it. And that has been the downfall of Black folks ever since. We've been taught that. We don't look at things whether they are right and wrong. Just look at it biblically. We look at that's the Black person. I'm going to take up for the Black person. And that Black person, if it's a Black Democrat politician, that's the devil. That is literally the KKK. You're saying, Linda B., what do you mean? They're doing things to Black folks today by way of other Black people that the KKK could only dream of. They're like, woo, thank you, Lord. The Lord that they serve, which is not the real Lord. Our Lord does not promote the things that the demon rat party promotes. Abortion, getting rid of ourselves. Jasmine Felicia Crockett, you are a farce. And Satan is not going to come with horns and heels and a tail and a forked tongue. Sometimes they come looking very sweet, very polished, and in this case, ghetto.
And this is supposed to be progress. Black women, only 14% of the childbearing age in America, account for almost 42% of all abortions. Over 360,000 Black babies gone each year. Each year, 1,000 empty cribs every sunrise. Since 1973, 20 to 25 million erased. That is half of the missing population. That's marriages that never formed, fathers whose arms remained empty, mothers who grieved in silence without the father even knowing that she was even pregnant. This is not justice. This is generational theft. It hollows out the very foundation that allows Black husbands and wives to build empires. Our grandparents bled for the nuclear family to survive, and yet Jasmine Felicia Crockett fuels the very machine designed to erase it. There's a character in the book by Harriet Beecher Stowe called Quimbo. And Quimbo killed people that actually did the most to protect their own community. They're gatekeepers, like she is. Listen closely. Then the welfare trap she strengthens with every proud vote. She calls it compassion. They're just rephrasing, using words to rephrase things. It's a noose dressed up as progress. Her votes on boosted child tax credits, her cheerleading of entitlement expansion, and her 2024 Community Housing Act pump billions into a system that punishes marriage and rewards fractured, broken homes filled with illegitimate bastard children. You bring a husband into the picture and the benefits vanish. So families break by design. This isn't an oversight. This is Jasmine Felicia Crockett. It's intentional architecture. So families break by design. In 1965, before the Great Society detonated the Black household, out of wedlock births sat below 24%. Today, it's nearly reversed. They tell her at 72%. And where do the children of this collapse end? Well, they end in poverty 85% of the time, double dropout rates, gangs as surrogate fathers. When married Black couples raise children, they generate stability, ownership, hope, legacy. But her agenda destroys the incentive for that structure to even exist. She votes to expand the very system that keeps mothers alone, fathers absent, and children unfathered, in communities spiritually feral and lifeless. That's not compassion, folks. That's Jasmine Felicia Crockett.
Not just abortion, that's the problem. Let's be real. We've got drugs and gangs that were poured into the Black communities by design, by the evil powers that be. Oh, it wasn't enough that they had us to abort our children, though we have to take responsibility for that ourselves, for aborting our own children out of the womb. But then they had to pour in the gangs, the drugs, just to put the icing on the evil cake. That's what was done to permanently dismantle us. And not only that, we actually listen to the people that are trying to hurt us. It's literally like you're listening to Satan and believing everything he says. And when God sends a person like myself and many, many others to tell you the truth, you don't want to listen because your spiritual consciousness has been seared with a hot iron. A hot iron, because you can't tell the truth from a lie. You call the truth a lie and a lie the truth. That is the problem with a lot of folks. And I'm talking about Black liberals, not talking about Black conservatives, not talking about anybody else, but Black liberals in America are literally destroying the Black community. And it is done primarily by voting for the Democrats, the party that is the architect of evil and the most evil institution in the history of the world. Check the stats. Who's behind all of this unnecessary murders and unalivings, or whatever you want to call it, in the Black community and in other communities? And I want to say too, white America is also under attack. Yes, white people, every race of people, every ethnicity rather, we're all under attack.
It's a quiet demolition. Her cultural crusades finish what the welfare state actually began. Lyndon B. Johnson wanted to see Black America crushed while using flowery language and using terms like hope and reproductive health. She pushes an agenda that dissolves the husband-wife order that kept us intact for generations. She flaunts it. She flaunts her dedication to file and pass safeguards. But safeguards for who? The LGBTQIA+? Well, those causes she champions while ignoring the fact that 70% of Black Christians still cling to biblical beliefs, biblical structure that preserved us through centuries of torment. She forgets, I thought she was a preacher's child. Preacher kids, PK kids. She's a demon, folks, dressed up in a suit, calling herself a Black woman. She backed the Equity Act, which would force gender ideology into every school, church, and workplace, cutting out the parents, pastors, and every elder entirely. Children already adrift in single-parent homes are being taught that identity is like your mood, not a calling. The nuclear family is rebranded as an outdated relic. That's not inclusion, that's erasure, folks. It strips boys of becoming men and girls of becoming women. It dissolves the roles that produced stability out of nothing for centuries. And she calls it progress. Then her war on our right to survive in the neighborhoods that her policies destabilize was waged. She screeches for assault weapons bans and expanded background checks while Black families in violent cities are already outgunned 10-1. Yeah, that's right, 10-1. Black gun ownership, even in Texas, surged precisely because husbands wanted to protect wives and wives wanted to protect children. Yet her policies slammed the door in their faces. She isn't reducing violence. She's disabling protectors and empowering predators. In communities where homicide rates are tenfold, disarming law-abiding citizens is not safety, Jasmine Felicia Crockett. It's a sentencing. Now let's put this all together. Her record is a direct siege against the Black nuclear family. She stands starkly against the husband, wife, and children. Starkly. Abortion that erases our future, welfare that destroys the present, culture warfare that attacks the order that held us together for millennia, gun restrictions that leave us defenseless in the aftermath. Our fertility fell from 4.5 to 1.6 after 1965. The Democrat plan is working. It's working to erase Black America. And she is a cog in the wheel to make sure you and your generations don't see light. Precisely because policies like hers suffocate the family unit that produces the life we want. 48 million of us remain when 135 million should stand. 3 generations wiped out, our demographic strength gutted, our lineage more than halved. Jasmine Felicia Crockett isn't an accident. Jasmine Felicia Crockett isn't an accident. She's a continuation, a modern Quimbo in the exact same machine that once wore a hood instead of a hairstyle. A mouthpiece for the system that feeds on broken men, wounded women, and unborn children who never had a chance to breathe. That is what Jasmine Felicia Crockett stands for. She didn't marry a Black man. She didn't birth Black children. She has no idea of the Black experience. She's not even from Texas. Black America feel this, especially Black Texans. Feel every life missing from the dinner tables. Every father never born. Every mother that never held her child. Every legacy stolen before it began. Let this truth burn through the deception that has enslaved Black America for the last 7 decades. Share it, spread it, refuse her in 2026.
Let me just say that President Trump right now, he's not doing what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats, when they do something, they benefit single parents, mothers raising their children, which incentivizes there to be broken homes. President Trump is doing the opposite by incentivizing people to be married. He said there will be a focus on the nuclear family. He said that during the joint session of Congress that he wanted to promote the nuclear family and provide incentives. He's not requiring both parents to work in order to get, benefits. He's not. Only one has to work. But that a lot of people say that's going to hurt the single family situation where in most cases it's mothers raising their children. But I got to say, I am so fed up with a lot of folks in this country. I just got to say it, liberal Black folks right now. I'm just having a problem with y'all because you do and think the very things that the evil powers that be want you to do and think. It is crazy how they have literally got you on a string and you just go and do whatever they want. And now people are out here yelling and screaming to do the very thing to themselves that eliminates them off the face of the earth. Do y'all even hear the fact that there would be over 100 million Black people in America had it not been for abortion? Think about that. 1973, Roe v. Wade was 52, almost 53 years ago. Those people would be grown, they'd be 53 years old and have children, and those children would have had children. But all of that cut off. Empty arms, mothers living with guilt over what they did by unaliving their unborn children. We don't talk about that enough. We talk about, it's my body, my choice. It's not your body. And it's not your choice to take away someone else's human rights. We talk about human rights. Where are the human rights for the unborn? What about their human rights? Their right to breathe, their right to exist. The left is always talking with a forked tongue, always saying, what about my right? What about what I want to do? My right to exist, my right to live. What about the unborn baby's right to live? You don't care about that. And they try to diminish it by calling it a clump of cells. It's a human being. And yes, you take the life of it when you have, something done like an abortion. And that's not demonizing people who've had abortions. God loves you. There's hope and healing in the Lord. It really is. So this is nothing against you all that had, made that decision or whatever. But my point is this: we, all Americans at this point, have to understand what's really going on. They're trying to divide us. A divided nation is easier to conquer. The old divide and conquer. United we stand, divided we fall. We need to focus on things that we actually have in common. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But again, I got to keep harping on this Jasmine Felicia Crockett, who is incentivized, who is paid quite well, by the way, to keep other Black people voting for the Democrat Party. And that's the party that rips families apart, that rips babies out of their mother's wombs, that rips everything good and hopeful. It does that. It rips away a quality education in place of indoctrination. It rips away patriotism in favor of communism. Think about everything that is being said here. Be a voice. Tell people, we've got midterms coming up. We do not need more of this foolishness. We don't need it. That heifer, and he said it here, and it's true. In 2023, Jasmine Felicia Crockett voted no on the Born Alive Protection Act. In 2025, April of this year, she voted in favor of the Abortion Care Act, the Abortion Care Awareness Act, abortion care. They call it care. Care. It's not caring for the person that was aborted. They're not being cared for. Where do they go once they're aborted? Oh, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the anguish that women have to deal with over the decision that they made, that they can never go back and undo. Now, here's what we need to do. We need to be united. Don't let these little petty differences about, who's your favorite podcaster, you shouldn't like that person, or I disagreed with you on that, or why did you vote that way? Focus on the things that we have in common. Do we want better education for our children? Yes, I want the same thing. Yeah, me too. Focus on that. Do we want safe neighborhoods? Yeah, I do too. Yeah, me too. Do we want stronger families so that our children can grow up in a more stable home and have a legacy to pass on? Yeah, I want that. Me too. Do we want to just live in peace and worship God the way we see fit? Yeah, I want that too. Yeah, me too. Talk about those things. Do not talk about things that you disagree on. We have to unite. United we stand, divided we fall. We are so crazy online on social media, nitpicking every single thing somebody says, picking it apart, going off in the comments. Yes, that's what some of you are very good at doing. Black liberal people, wake up. All people in America. Let me just say this. All people in America, unite. Okay, it does bug me about the Black folks voting for a party that's destroying Black people. It does bother me. Okay, and then they look at the conservative side. You can't say we have policies that hurt anybody. Not one. So, you shut them up with facts if you need to. But I'd rather we talk about unification, uniting, and focus on things that we all share in common. But let's not forget those aborted babies. 48 million Black people in America, and there would be over 100 million had they not been aborted. A lot of estimates have varying numbers, anywhere from 85 to over 135 million. It's hard to say depending on the number of children people have, but we've gone from 4.5 children to 1.6 in the Black community. We are literally erasing ourselves. And this is not even counting crime. Those numbers that would have been more Black people only come if the babies were not aborted. What about homicides in the Black community? What about that? Violence of all kinds. Y'all, it's just tough doing this sometimes because I get upset at how people are not thinking logically. But I will leave this man's link in the description box below. But I am going live tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go live on most Mondays through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, we've got a different schedule next week. You know, I'll be at America Fest, so don't wonder why things are a little off. I'm just telling you in advance. But I thank you guys so much for watching me and supporting my channel. Don't forget to like the video, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications. Be blessed, love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.